read Romeo and Juliet today. If you haven't read Act 2 yet, I'm going to go through and read it, and then I'll stop a few times and explain, and it'll just be like it is when we're in class, sort of. Okay, are we ready? All right, here we go. Act 2, Scene 1. Romeo says, "Can I go forward when my heart is here? Turn back, Dalworth, and find thy center out." So this is what he says after he leaves the party. So Romeo knows that Juliet is a Capulet, and Romeo, so he's found that out now, but he doesn't want to leave the party. So Juliet, she has found out that he's a Montague, so she's at her home, and so he has ditched his friends, and so he wants to talk to her some more. So his cousin Benvolio says, "Romeo, my cousin, Romeo, Romeo." Then Mercutio answers, "He is wise, and all my life has stolen him home to bed. He ran this way and leapt this orchard wall. Call, good Mercutio." And then Mercutio says, "Nay, I'll conjure too. Romeo, humors, madman, passion, lover, appear thou in the likeness of a sigh. Speak but one rhyme, and I am satisfied. Cry but I me, pronounce but love and dove. Speak to my gossip Venus one fair word, one nickname for a pure blind son and heir. Young Abraham Cupid, he that shot so true when King Cophetua loved the beggar maid. He heareth not, he stirreth not, he moveth not. The ape is dead, and I must conjure him. I conjure thee by Rosaline's bright eyes, by her high forehead and her scarlet lip, by her fine foot, straight leg and quivering thigh, and the demosness that there adjacent lie, and in thy likeness thou appear to us. And if he hear thee, that will anger him." Mercutio answers, "This cannot anger him. 'Twould anger him to raise a spirit in his mistress' circle, of some strange nature, letting it there stand till she had laid it and conjured it down. That were some spite. My invocation is fair and honest. In his mistress's name I conjure only but to raise him up. Come, he hath hid himself among these trees, to be consorted with the humorous night. Blind is his love, and best befits the dark." Mercutio answers, "If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Now will he sit under a medlar tree, and wish his mistress were that kind of fruit, as maids call medlars when they laugh alone. O Romeo, that she were, oh, that she were an open arse, that thou a poprum pear. Romeo, good night. I'll to my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?" Benvolio answers, "Go then, for 'tis in vain to seek him here, that means not to be found." So what he's saying here is, so Romeo's hiding, so he jumped over the orchard wall, and he's basically been listening to all this. And so his friends kind of know he's there, and so they start to call for him to try to tease him to get him to come out from hiding. So Mercutio, he starts to talk about Rosaline, because remember, they think that he's still in love with Rosaline. And so they start to talk about her, and they say, they start to talk about her body, her fine foot, her straight leg, her scarlet lip, her high forehead, which was attractive in that time. And so they talk about all these things to try to make him come out from hiding, to tease him, like I said. And so then he says, well, he heareth not, he stirreth not, he moveth not, the ape is dead. So he's saying that he's just not paying attention to them, that he's playing dead. Kind of like, that's what they would say back then, like playing possum. And so then he says, well, I must conjure him, meaning like conjure him like a spirit or a ghost. And so Benvolio says, oh, you better not. You're going to make him mad if you do that, if you talk about Rosaline, if you tease him anymore. And so Mercutio says, well, it would only make him really mad if someone else came out from hiding to defend Rosaline's honor instead of him. And so he says, I'm not doing anything wrong. You know, there's nothing to be mad at. And so then Benvolio says, well, you know what? He is just hiding from us. He doesn't want to come out. So if he wants to hide, then, you know, since love is blind, Cupid is blind, then just let him stay in the dark. And so Mercutio says, well, if love is really blind, it can't really hit the mark, meaning it can't be successful. So he makes fun of Romeo one last time, and he says that he's probably sitting up in a tree somewhere, and he's basically kissing a piece of fruit and imagining that it's Rosaline. So he's kind of poking fun at him again, kind of one last jab before they leave. And he says, you know what, it's too cold out here for me. He says, come, shall we go? And Benvolio says, well, if he doesn't want to be found, then let's just leave him. So his friends decide to leave him, even though he's still at the Capulet house, which is definitely kind of dangerous.